y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. As you guys can see today, I'm hitting y'all with another audio only episode, partly because not really much going on as far as news and stuff like that. So I don't expect this to be a long episode, and I kind of don't see a reason to do like a whole camera setup if, all I'm gonna do is like just talk about pretty much only like 2 topics today. And then second, damn. I forgot the second reason. Well, I guess it's not that important of a reason, but yeah, either way, another audio only episode, but I still felt like giving y'all a little something. And the main topic that I'm going to be talking about today in this episode really is the Jada and Will situation. If you guys do not know, Jada recently put out a tell-all book, and she revealed in an interview that her and Will Smith has actually been separated since 2016. Now, personally, this is a topic that I'm kind of sick of, hearing about, talking about. I don't really talk about it that much, but I'm kind of sick of, hearing about it. But I know that some people will probably want to hear my opinions on the whole Jada and Will thing, so I will mostly be talking about that this episode. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about a few quick updates as far as like other things going on with me. If you guys have been watching the last few episodes, I have been heavily teasing my next album, which is the Love album. And I think Diddy recently put out a Love album. I did not know that he was doing that too. All I know is that I had this idea for like the past year and a half now, but I recently announced on my Instagram that I will be releasing the Before the Love EP coming out in February. I don't know what day I'm going to pick for the EP. Just know that the EP is coming out in February because I think I said it before when I first announced the album that this is going to have a huge love theme, a huge love influence. And it's not just about romantic love because, love is a very important thing to me. So, it's not just going to be about romantic love. It's going to be about, love that you have for family, for friends, the love of making music, the love of, being on your grind. Like, I'm going to talk about a lot of different aspects when it comes to love. Now, yes, there is going to be a lot of songs about romantic love, but basically love is just, in general, I think I already announced what the full acronym is, letting out vulnerable emotions. So that's pretty much what the album is going to be like. But recently, like I said, I announced the EP, the Before the Love EP, and that's going to have like a good 3 songs on there. Originally, it was going to be like 2 songs, but I was like, what, I do feel like I need to add something more so that, when you guys listen to it, you kind of get more out of it. So it's not just like, 2 songs and then you're done. I know one more song probably isn't the greatest difference ever, but I still wanted to put out like something that felt complete to me. Like, this isn't supposed to be like a whole prequel to the album. This is just basically like giving y'all a taste of what to expect from the album. So I got like 3 songs on there. I think you guys are really gonna like it. And like I said, the title is called Letting Out Vulnerable Emotions. So there is some things I say on this EP that will prepare you for some of the things I will expand on during the album. Like, this is going to be a very, vulnerable piece of work. The EP and the full length album when eventually I release it. So yeah, that is one thing to look out for. And then also, as of me recording the episode, we start filming my movie next Sunday, which is going to be amazing. This is going to be my first time directing a short film, so that's going to be cool. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. Now, I'm still thinking about how I'm going to go about releasing the film. From what I've seen, a lot of other filmmakers do, they say that it's best to release the film in festivals first and then release it online later. And I'm trying to do a lot of big things with this release. Like, of course, I'm going to do festivals first, but I'm going to put it, of course, on YouTube, Vimeo, which I haven't touched my Vimeo account since I was a junior in George Mason. I think that was like 2020. Yeah, so I ain't touched it in like 3 to 4 years. Um, Also, I'm gonna try to put it on Amazon and Tubi and stuff like that, so that it can hit a wide range of my audience and the people that do support me. Cause I know a lot of y'all be, subscribed, but y'all don't be supporting for real, or some of my friends don't even be checking out the podcast. But we'll let that one slide. Either way, a lot of great things coming up for y'all next year. So like I said, the EP, the film, and there's a lot of other things that I'm planning for next year, especially things related to the podcast, which I am definitely going to talk to my peoples because I have a lot of great ideas that I cannot wait for y'all to see. But yeah, enough with that. Let's get into the topic. Well, the only topic of today's episode, and that is the whole Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, or should I just call her Jada Pinkett? Because I don't even think she deserves the Smith at the end of her last name. But what are my full thoughts on this situation? And guys, like I said, I'm sick of this topic, so this is the one and only time I'm going to talk about this. I don't know if I forget if I already talked about Will and Jada on my podcast already, but just know that even if I did, this is the last time I will talk about them. Even if my guests get on here and try to talk about Jada and Will, I will, say a quick piece and then move the conversation on. I am very sick of this whole Will and Jada, discussion, but I will talk about it just because I know some people will want to hear my opinion. So, all right. Let me try to crack everything I feel about this whole situation out right now. And part of the reason I feel like talking about it right now is because I was on the phone with Anthony Carolina. If you guys have watched 2 episodes ago, he was the Afro pop singer that I had on. We were talking about the Will and Jada situation, and we pretty much agreed on the fact that if you want to know my overall opinion on it, Jada to me, she isn't the exact villain that a lot of people are trying to make her out to be. But at the same time, Will definitely deserves better. He definitely deserves better. I'm not saying he's a victim like a lot of other people do. Like, I don't think he is a victim. There's certain moments where I feel like he was a victim to Jada. But overall, I do not think Jada is the big bad villain that you guys paint her out to be. Now, there's levels to this, because while I don't think Jada is the big bad villain that you guys paint her to be, there is certain out of pocket moments that she had, like messing with one of your kids' best friends, like messing with August Alsina was definitely, to me, a no-no. You could have found somebody more your age or someone that isn't in your son's circle. Like, that was very out of pocket. And I'm surprised Jaden didn't have more to say about that. Because let my mom mess with somebody around my age or mess with one of my friends. Yeah, nah, it ain't going to go smoothly like that. And then as far as like, the whole, Jada stepping out on Will. I mean, from what we know now, like they haven't obviously been together since 2016. So honestly, she was allowed to do what she was allowed to step out if she wanted to, because they weren't even really together. And let's not be sitting here acting like Will hasn't stepped out, because I think that's the one thing a lot of people are forgetting. Like, there's been rumors for years that they've been in an open relationship and that they were both, seeing people. The problem is, though, is that Will keeps his, low key, while Jada is out here telling the world everything and telling us stuff that we don't need to know. Like, that's my biggest problem with Jada in this whole situation. You keep telling us stuff that we don't need to know. That is y'all relationship. And I mean, I get it. You're doing a tell-all book. You want people to check out the book. You want to bring some buzz to it. But at the end of the day, they're just certain things that us as the public don't really need to know. Like, we know that y'all messing with other people, but do we need to know the extent of it? Nah, that's just where I feel like she crosses the line a lot. Like, just like even in the same interview where she revealed her and Will wasn't together since 2016. She also revealed that Chris Rock asked her out on a date because he heard that they were separated. And to be honest, we didn't need to know that either. Like, it gives a little bit more context to the Will Smith slap. It definitely does give more context to that and why Will might have had more of a problem with Chris making that joke. But we didn't need to know, like, about that situation, about him asking you out. And even when the slap happened, I seen certain people on Twitter bring up how Chris makes a lot of jokes at Jada, and some people were saying that, you know, he might be making all these jokes because low-key he low-key likes Jada. And you know, since people were already able to come to that conclusion, I really feel like we don't need to know that, because basically all you're doing is confirming stuff that if you've ever, you know, seen these type of interactions, and you already know that that was the case. Like, yeah, low-key Chris probably wants to be with Jada, but he's disappointed he can't, so all he does is roast her to try to get her attention on some like little kid shit where they always used to say like, oh, if she or he is mean to you, then that means they like you. Like, on some little kid shit. But the other thing that, now I also want to touch on how I said that I don't think Will is fully a victim like everybody likes to make it. Did he pick, now one thing I do want to say is Will knew who he married. He knew who he picked. Like, let's stop acting like this man isn't a grown man that makes his own decisions and has his own thoughts. And I mean, what I'm about to say after this might sound a little contradictory to what I just said, but he knew who he married, and he knew that Jada was a, you know, a wild and free soul. So to sit here and say that he's fully a victim is like, no, I don't fully believe that. Now, like I said, there were a few times where I believe that Will was a victim. And the biggest moment to me where he was a victim, for example, was when he was on the Red Table Talk. And he was telling a story about how he threw this big, extravagant party for Jada for her birthday. And I think he said that he had Beyonce or like some big singer sing at the birthday party. And when Jada got there, she didn't like it. She didn't appreciate it. And basically they were both talking about how, you know, Will said that they talked about it, and that Will came to the conclusion that he didn't really do all of that for Jada, but he did it for his ego. And if you ask me, because, you know, if you ask me, I don't really feel like he did that for his ego. When I heard that story, it sounded more like someone who really did just want to do something amazing for their wife and for someone that they love. But then when the wife wasn't appreciative of it, she basically got him into thinking like, oh, you know, I really just did this for me and not really for you. Like, there's certain moments where you can tell if somebody does it for their ego, and there's certain moments where you can tell like, all right, they're doing this because they genuinely hopes this makes that other person happy. And truth be told, when I heard that story, it sounded more like she just, you know, she didn't like it, so he came to the conclusion that, oh, it must have been my ego. But deep down, I really do think it was because he loves her. And, you know, despite me saying that they both stepped out on each other and stuff like that, it is very clear to see that Will still has a lot of love for Jada. And I mean, I'm not going to deny, like, of course, Jada definitely has love for Will. But at the end of the day, it definitely seems like Will was more ready for a committed relationship with her than she was for him. And also, the other thing that makes me feel like Will is somewhat a victim, because like I said, I can only see it in certain moments. One thing that definitely makes me feel like Will is a victim in some cases is the whole Jada and Tupac thing. Now, some people believe that low-key they were together behind the scenes. You know, some people listen to what Jada and Pac both said, that they both really weren't together and stuff like that. Whether you believe they were together or not, that's up to you. But the thing with me is, when I see a lot of the things that Jada does for Tupac, and don't get me wrong, like, of course, when you lose a friend, when you lose someone that you really care about, whether you were with them or not, you would really like to honor them as much as you can and keep, you know, their memory alive. and, show a lot of the love that you had for them when they were still here. Like, some of the things that she does and says definitely made it seem like, that was her idea man, and she just kind of settled for Will. And I somewhat feel bad for Will when it comes to that, because, you can't compete with a ghost. Like, whether, in my opinion, whether they were together or not, Tupac was obviously Jada's idea type of man. That was the type of man she always wanted to be with. But, Will Smith was who she settled for. And, and now it's basically like he's sitting here competing with, a ghost. Like, if you really think about it, say like, you date someone who, say you just got a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend, and before they were dating someone, or they were like very close friends, damn near looked like they were dating this person, and then that person dies, and you just kind of come in, and now it's you're pretty much always gonna feel like you're competing with that dead person. Like, it's like, I can't, I hope I'm saying this correctly, but it's like, you can't live up to this idea person, especially in cases. Now, I forget if Tupac and Will ever met each other, especially if you never met the person. Like, how can you live up to someone that you never even met, and that, that obviously the person you're going out with or dating or marrying is very, like, very close to. So, I don't know. In certain cases, I really do feel like Will is a victim, but for the most part, I don't think he is a victim. For the most part, I do believe that, he knew who he married, and the relationship just ran its course. And to be honest, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I never really cared about Will and Jada's relationship. Or actually, I really don't care about Will Smith or Jada at all, to be honest. Like, growing up, everybody says Will Smith is their favorite actor. A lot of people love his films. A lot of people love The Fresh Prince. And don't get me wrong, I love The Fresh Prince. It was a really great show. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I like the Bad Boys movies. Shark Tale was a big part of my childhood. Like, I loved that movie. Like, Will Smith definitely had a role in my childhood, and he was an actor that, I did like. But my thing is, I never cared this much about them like how everybody else is. Like, I don't know. I just don't care. And like I said, the only reason I'm really talking about this right now is because I know certain people will want me to talk about it. But truth be told, like, I think the biggest, and this is just me rambling at this point, this is just me saying my thoughts. This whole Will and Jada situation just shows me how much people are so invested in some of these celebrities' personal lives. And don't get me wrong, just like I said earlier, Jada is putting out all this unnecessary information. But the thing is, someone can still put out unnecessary information, but we don't have to listen to it. We don't have to make discourse about it. Like, a lot of people, when she first revealed them being separated since 2016, when she revealed the Chris Rock thing, she was trending like, I think, number 1 or number 2 on Twitter. So even though people felt like this was useless information to bring up, they were still making it a hot topic, and they were still showing some type of care for it. They were still showing some type of care. And I mean, you guys can even see this episode, like, I'm saying I don't care. You guys can even see this episode as me having some type of care for it. Really, I'm just trying to get this out of the way so I don't have to talk about them again. But this just shows the bigger picture of how some people are just so invested in some of these celebrities' personal lives. Like, I just don't care that much. And it also brings up the point of people idolizing celebrity couples. Because for a long time, Will Smith and Jada was one of the ideal, like, couples that a lot of people would try to follow. Like, sadly, J. Cole's one of my favorite rappers, but he should have never said, I want that Will and Jada love. Like, you should have never said that, bruh. Because now look at where, those lyrics got you. But I'm just saying overall that, like, we just need to stop being so invested in some of these, celebrities' personal lives. Like, I don't know. It just it's just no point to paying attention to it this much. Like, okay, when I say that I don't care about Jada and Will, let me clarify it like this. I care about what they give me. Like, Jada is a good actress. She was good in Set It Off. She was good in Girls Trip. I only care about her as an actress. Will Smith, like I said, I love Fresh Prince. I like the Bad Boys movies. Shark Tale was a big movie in my childhood. I only care about the work they give me. I do not care about where their relationship is at. I don't care who's messing with who. I don't give a damn. And neither should y'all, really. But I mean, we are human. People are going to care about things that don't really matter. But at the end of the day, if I had to sum up my whole opinion, because I basically have been talking in circles, I've been rambling on. But at the end of the day, guys, who gives a shit about this whole Will and Jada thing? You know what? When she drops her book, I don't know if it's already out, but when she drops her book, give it a read, give y'all think pieces like I know y'all are going to, and then let's put this shit to rest. I am done with Will and Jada. Like, I'm done hearing about their personal lives and who's sleeping with who and why this and that is going on. Like, it don't matter no more. It don't matter. Like, this is some high school shit. Like, I've never seen people care this much about a relationship since high school. Like, I don't care, bro. And neither should y'all. But we're all built different. We all have different priorities and all have different cares. But this is just my opinion on the whole Will and Jada thing. Like, it just don't matter no more. Unless it affects like what they give us entertainment wise, I don't care. I don't care, bro. So, yeah. That's my whole opinion on the Will and Jada thing. If you guys have any opinions, of course, let me know down below. And yeah, like I said, this episode really wasn't going to be much. Not really much going on right now. I'm really saving a lot of the big things for the podcast for after we shoot the short film, when I have more time to think about, the podcast and stuff like that. Not saying that I'm giving y'all half-ass shit right now, but I'm just saying, like, priority, like, put one over the other for right now, and then the other one can get its shine right afterwards. So yeah. Another quick announcement that I forgot to say is that I did finally decide to start the gaming channel. I don't know when specifically I'm going to start it. I am going to start it soon. But yeah, when I start the gaming channel, I will definitely tell y'all, to go check that out. But yeah, let me know how y'all feel about the Jada and Will situation. If there's any topics that y'all want me to talk about in the next episode, let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you're listening on streaming services, of course, follow the podcast. And yeah, man, let's get our thoughts about Jada and Will out now so that we can move the hell on. Because I don't know about nobody else. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm tired of this shit. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. And, support your boy, because, I'm not going to lie. Numbers don't lie. Y'all definitely disrespect me with that last episode. But, yeah. With all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. Catch y'all on the next episode.